Alright, so you want to start out by making sure you reset your dungeon, go into a fresh one. Then you're gonna put your pet on stay over here. You just want him like pretty much far away because he has to pull the mobs and then run back there. And then you can go right now if you just like hit that guy with your distracting shot, but I usually just wait for him to patrol. If you let him get past like that little line right there on the ground, and then you go, you're all good. I go into like the little nook right here, and then I just send my pet after whichever mob is the closest one there out of like the 3 or 4 pack. Once he hits him, you just put him back on passive and he runs back to where you put him on stay, and he pulls all those mobs. And don't worry if you aggro any of them, because you can just jump up on the ledge here and just get out of line of sight and they will de-aggro from you. And you get over here, when I was practicing, I put a marker on this guy because he pats up like around to the other side of that pillar there and can cause some problems. And just make sure you're out of combat before you drop down here. Heal your pet up, put it on stay. And then the next skip is you're going to send it at this mage lord or whatever is the closest one there. Make sure he hits it, make sure they all aggro your pet before you start running, and then go. If they happen to aggro you or whatever, I usually deterrence and go right to the aspect of the monkey, and you can usually make it to right about here and feign, and you're safe. But if you do what I just did there, you'll make it like all the way to the chest here, no problem. I just feign right at the chest. Stand up and get your key. I always just keep an eye out in case Fang is there. He shouldn't be anywhere close to you if you just reset the instance though. And then right here, if you like hug this wall and do this perfectly through here, you actually won't aggro that pack, and you don't have to reset them up on this ledge. But I do anyway. I hug that other side and then jump across onto this ledge, and then just make sure I'm out of combat. Alright, so combat drops, you jump down. I always go towards that pillar, hug the wall there so you don't aggro the shit going in. And then right through here, I'm pretty sure the eye was walking away. Yeah, I missed the eye here. If you can get that eye on the first cycle, like when you come in here, it's a little bit easier. So when you open the door, just like look for that, and if you kill it right away. Otherwise, just res your pet up, heal it up, and I put him on stay somewhere back here. And if you miss the eye, you can either stand here and wait for it to come all the way back, but I prefer to do this skip and then wait for him in the second spot, or just kill him as I'm moving over to the second spot. So what I do is I have my pet on stay over there, come over here, send him in. I like to send him in on the warlocks because they're the range mobs. The melee guys tend to usually always aggro my pet. Call him back, run by here. Sometimes that warlock will cripple you, and then sometimes the eye will be coming up right now, and you'll have to kill it on your way down. I didn't get that this time, so I just feign right here in this little nook, and then you can get your pet up and heal it, and then you kind of just have to wait right here for the eye. But what you can also do is, I think I did it in this video, leave your pet on stay here, and then you can go across to the other side, like I'm gonna do, yep, like this. You don't want to be too close to the left, and you can get into this little nook here, and you get like closer to the eye, and it forces it to like re-render or whatever. He gets back on his patrol. Alright, kill the eye. You go back over to this little nook. Pet's still on stay. This is the toughest part of the run. So you pull this pack, send your pet back. Sometimes you get crippled, sometimes the warlock will immolate you. Don't worry about it, it's a really short run. You just want to get right here into this brick right here that I'm on. So like you see the big square, and then you see the 2 that I'm on. You you want to be like right in the middle of this one right here. You won't aggro the pack behind, and you will not aggro that bug. It's terrifying, but you won't aggro it, I promise. You want to res your pet, and I usually just spam the stay button when my pet is rezzing up, because I've had him like res and then move forward and aggro the bug by accident. So I heal him up full. And you want to target that carrion or bug or whatever, and then spin your camera, send your pet, target that reaver back there, and then once your pet has aggro on the bug, send him back at the reaver. And then hug the wall here to avoid that pod, because if that pod pops and slows you, you're fucked. Now I like to mark the guard. This is the toughest part. You have to get to basically where I'm standing and feign. But if the guard is too close to you and he aggroes you, he's going to charge you and knock you back, and you're probably going to die. So you either let him walk closer to the wall on the left side of the screen now, or you let him go a little bit further away. And then once he's past that wall there, you can pop up, and this is where the other eye should be coming. So once you kill this eye, if you're planning on selling the run, take note of the time. See, I just killed it at 12:26. They spawn in 30 minutes, and you have to kill the king after the eye has respawned to make them passive. So I would have to kill the king at 3:56. So right here, I wait for that guard to turn, and then I slow that one by distracting this one, and then I switch into my cheetah or tiger or whatever, and then I feign right here. This is where you invis. I use the big invis potions because they give you that couple extra seconds. You can do it with the smaller ones, but the bigger ones aren't much more expensive and they're just safer. Like you get all the way up here with a little bit extra time. And that's the hardest part of the run, is getting through that section there. You have to kill the eye, you don't aggro the guard, and you have to get past those reavers and do the feign into the invis properly. But like, just like how I did it that time, it basically works the same way every single time. So here you res your pet. You want to get them all full. You don't need to be full mana or anything, but I generally do out of habit. This is where you'll need your Sephorium charges. So you leave your pet on stay down here. And then what you want to do is you want to run up the ramp here. And then you're going to put a frost trap down, because that will buy you a lot of time to do this skip. And then you're going to send your pet at the left pack of reavers. And then there's another pack on the right over there that you want to target. So your pet's going to go for the reavers and then send him over to the right pack and then call him back with passive. If both of the packs aggro on the way in, that is fine. Just make sure your pet has aggro on them before you call them back, otherwise they will aggro you. Then you blow up the door. Sometimes your pet will live if you run all the way into that wall on the right there. I usually just let my pet die. And now you want to feign, and you want to like wait a little bit, because sometimes they get stuck in the trap and they'll just re-aggro you if you pop back up too soon. Res your pet again. And these are pretty much the easiest skips here. Gotta heal them back up to full. This is another reason why I prefer the Wind Serpent, because it eats the mage food. It eats bread. So it's like, I don't have to carry meat or anything. So then you gotta just, I like to put them like right behind this wall here. Don't go too far back that way or you'll aggro the reavers. And then just send your pet after this guy. He aggroes the pack, see they're all running, pull them back. Again, the guy can cripple you here or whatever, it's not a big deal, just keep running. You get around this corner, and in this corner your pet should despawn like that, and then you can feign. And they'll all reset. You can pop up, and And call your pet. I like to spam stay here again because you can aggro the boss too early. And now you just gotta wait like a couple for your feigned death cooldown. And then you're gonna target captain. And I like to get my camera angle like this because you want to send your pet at captain and then back at that other pack that you just skipped. Alright, so I send my pet, I target the Reaver, I send pet back at the Reaver and just run right past the captain. He's never done anything to me. He's never feared me or anything, but I guess he can. And I just go right into this corner and feign here. My pet almost always dies on that skip. Res him up again, and only one more skip, and then you're at the king. Res him up and heal him. And this is another one where you'll use a frost trap. What I do is I put one like right on the corner. Drop a frost trap, and then target captain or reaver or whatever's there. Send your pet. He'll either path out like that or he'll path right into the corner. But they should all aggro your pet unless you run too soon. And then you just run on by. And then you can feign pretty much anywhere in this little corridor here, and you are safe now. So what I like to do here is I res my pet up and I heal him, and then there's a pack of 3 dogs that come and they patrol all around this room, and they do like a loop around the king's like platform that you're on. They should be like right up here on this platform here. Yep, like there they are. I like to mark the lead one, and I plan on skipping these dogs, so I do not kill them. You can kill them, but they cause some troubles with like the respawn timers and just like selling the buffs. And I find them just easier to avoid killing because they take about 8 or 9 minutes to do a full loop. So as soon as they pass that point there, you have about 8 or 9 minutes to kill the boss. So that's kind of what I plan on. But this is how you get set up for the actual boss fight. You get over here and you get your pet over into this corner. And then once I have my pet set up in the corner, I usually just sit there and I beat on one of those ogres and level weapon skills or whatever until the eye has respawned and I can kill the king. But if you're not selling the buffs, you don't have to wait. You can just go like right into the king fight if those dogs pat by. Okay, so on to the king fight. I'll just skip ahead here. You have your pet on stay over there. I like to just mark everything. Makes it nice. But you're basically just gonna wait right here, and you have to wait for the dogs to patrol around the king's platform. They come around from back there, and then they walk down through like the crack on the front side. Make sure you don't have more than 4 pieces of tier 1 or 2 on, and make sure you're not wearing the ZG fist weapon set that procs the tiger proc, because they will cause threat problems during the actual king fight. And then my spec is, you can pretty much do this in any spec. I'm just using a true shot grade spec for sure-footed. So we just wait here for the dogs. I think I skip ahead again here. Yep, there's the dogs. And you just gotta wait. They'll go all the way around. They're real fucking slow. But they go like around, they patrol down to the other side. And then they come back up. Make sure you turn off autocast on your pet's dive or dash ability for this part here. because if you cast it too soon, your pet will get owned. So as soon as those dogs are right about there, you can start setting your pet because he's pretty slow and he has a long way to go. You're going to send him at Cho Rush, the Observer, not at the King. You want to send him at the caster. And then when he gets a little closer, I like to just hover over dive. I'm ready to turn it on auto cast. And then I turn on auto cast and I hit attack again. And he goes, you hit the King, or you hit the Observer one time with your pet. Not twice, not 3 times, not 0 times, one time. He has to hit him. And then call him back on passive. And now the fight just consists of getting your aim shots and multi-shots into the King, and then draining Cho Rush's mana without getting hit by him. I got the caster, the mage version of Cho Rush this time, which is the easiest one. But he also has a shaman version and a priest version, which are both a little more tricky because they heal, they just make the fight take longer. But it's the same idea, you just have to drain mana, and you can line of sight them around the pillars and stuff. I generally use this one spot right here where I am, and that bush on the right is a good indicator on when you want to line up your aim shots. So as soon as the King gets to that bush, you start aim shot on him, and it should hit before he starts hitting your pet. And then you want to make sure you're feigning when either of the bosses is crossing that line there, that like black line on the ground, because if they get too close, they'll resist your feign, and then you have to do some like shenanigans to get them to get back on track. They pretty much just tap them down. If they get really spread out, you can go hit this guy a little earlier and then line of sight them. I like to keep them like about that far apart from each other. When they start getting very spread out, it gets really difficult to actually do the fight. So just feign. And the reason I wait so long on the feign sometimes because of the cooldown. Like if this guy is really close and I feign too soon, he's going to run back over and hit me sooner. So I just keep draining his mana. I get my aim shots and stuff where I can. If you can't get the aim shot off, just take a multi-shot and whatever autos you can get. Always remember, every time you feign behind this pillar, you want to be drinking when you sit up. You want to try and get drinks off as frequently as possible, because while it's not a super mana intensive, like if you're not drinking, you will run out of mana eventually. So I just do it every time I feign. And then it's just like this over and over again. Eventually Cho Rush will be out of mana, and then it becomes a lot easier because you don't have to pillar him. To avoid his spells, you just kind of like hit him and he turns around and comes back. Sometimes you'll feign here also, and you actually won't fully fall out of combat, and it's kind of annoying, but it just happens sometimes. You just gotta try and feign and drink on the next one. Here, I think I eat a fireball, or maybe not. I think one of them I ate a fireball on. Yeah, you can pretty much like manipulate the AI of this thing and keep them like forced to start casting spells on you and then cancel them by going out of line of sight. It's something to practice. Out of mana. King is under 50% health. Yeah, this is the one where I just ate a fireball because I knew he didn't have any more mana after that, so I just wanted to get a couple more hits in on the King. That's like an efficient trade-off there, in my opinion. But yeah, now that I have Cho Rush drained of his mana, all he can really do is he'll put, I think he puts like a a speed buff on the king. Yeah, his little berserking hands sometimes. It just makes the king run a little faster, which ends up making it line up a little better sometimes, like this. And yeah, he's so you just gotta like tap him with something. He'll come. They're pretty spread out here, so I like to let this guy get a little bit further when he's and then shoot him over here, and then you can slow him, and then it makes him line up with the king a little bit better. Because when he's if you could get him like on top of the king the whole time, that's ideal. Because then you can just turn him around with a multi-shot every time he gets back. The king starts getting low, he gets slow, so I try and get a couple extra hits in every time he runs, but don't get too many hits in because this guy will get very close and you need to feign. When the king's down at about 15-10% or whatever, that's usually close enough almost for me to consider like just blowing everything all in on it. But I recommend just play it safe and just go through the motions until he dies. Here, because I popped my cooldowns, Cho Rush actually turned around early, if you saw that. I didn't even hit him, so that's the kind of like threat shenanigans I was talking about. And kill the king. If you kill him on this low ledge here, you can actually loot him from below, so it's nicer. You don't have to run all the way up and around. But just remember, once you kill the king, don't immediately go for the tribute chest. You want to run all the way back to this guard that's in the little nook over here and talk to him, because you can trigger the RP event from like the event from wearing the suit or whatever. Oh, there's those dogs I skipped. They're now passive. If you talk to this guy, it triggers the RP event. He runs down through, and it ends up just giving you another piece of loot in the tribute chest. So make sure you talk to him first, and then you can go get your shit. Okay, so the Reavers are actually really easy to kill. What I do is I get up to this first pack, and I drop a frost trap, and inch up to right range. Blow all my cooldowns, start shooting them, send a pet. And then you just kind of like stutter step your way back. And there's one ledge that you are basically going to use to kite the mobs around in circles. I try and keep them stacked up as best as I can here, so that my multi-shots are getting hold of them. Make sure you're in cheetah, or you can't outrun them. And you're just gonna go around that ledge to the left in the middle here. That's it. You can just go like up and around and jump down, up and around and jump down. And you just keep shooting. Multi-shot is generally gonna be your best tool here. Don't waste too much mana on stings, because they don't really do a lot of damage. I only use them to like finish the mob off when they get low. Yeah, you kind of just go around like this. And make sure if you are gonna kill these Reavers to like sell the buffs or whatever, you can't go and get the King tribute buff unless you want to run all the way back in, because it'll make everything passive if you go and like get your tribute chest first. So what I do is I talk to the guy in the hallway, trigger the RP, and then I just kill the Reavers, and then I go back for my loot. But yeah, if you're not selling the runs, you don't have to do any of this. You don't have to kill the Reavers or anything. You can just loot your shit and get out of there. But yeah, if you are selling, ideally you've killed it so the eyes are passive, and it's just 2 packs of Reavers, and then there's a pack of bugs that, if you see my mage is also in the raid group with me right now. I use my mage to kill the pack of bugs because it's a lot easier. but it's totally soloable as a hunter. It just takes like a couple of feign deaths because you'll have to like shoot a bug, multi-shot them, you know, kill another one or two in your frost trap, and then feign death and reset them, and do that over and over again until the pack of bugs is dead. But there you go, there's the first pack of Reavers. I usually just put my pet on stay here, and then he despawns when I go running towards the second pack. Yeah, he despawns there. And I try and do these as quickly as I can because the Reavers and the bugs have a 2-hour respawn. So if you are selling the buffs, you want to kill both packs of Reavers and the bugs as close together as possible to give you most of that 2-hour window you have to sell the buffs. And it is exactly 2 hours from when the last mob in the pack dies. So like you kill one Reaver and then you kill the second Reaver, that is the moment that the timer starts. See, my eye is passive here because I waited long enough. This guard is still moving because I haven't trapped him yet. So I just wait for him to patrol. He goes down, turns back around, and these are the 2 Reavers that I'm trying to kill next. I'm probably going to end the video shortly after this, but I just wanted to show you how to pull these Reavers properly without getting yourself killed. I'll leave it to you guys to figure out the bugs. So, paths away, come down to the bottom of the steps here, and I just inch up in range. Pop the cooldowns, hit the aim shot, and then when you're running up this ramp, they can actually hit you from below, so I switch to Aspect of Monkey here, just in case they hit me, and then you can go back to Cheetah once you're past them. And it'll just save you some silly deaths there. Like, I've been dazed by those things before and just randomly died. But yeah, once you have them, you can just run them all the way back up to the same spot you killed the other Reavers, and it's just rinse, repeat. And kill the Reavers, kill the bugs, trap the guy, and your instance is good to go to sell. Yeah, hopefully this helps, and hope you enjoyed it.